It might be draft season, but anytime you are following the Rams, there's always something to talk about. And just not long ago, the Dolphins made it clear, at least the reports came out, that they are shopping Jalen Ramsey. That's right, the Rams star cornerback that they traded away for Hunter Long and a third-round pick not that long ago. They traded him away to the Dolphins. And now the Dolphins are looking to trade him away just a year after making him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. So what does this mean? We're going to get into it. Before we do, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. All right. So it's complicated. I'm warning you. There's a lot to take in here, but Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap tried to explain it. And basically, the Dolphins are shopping Jalen Ramsey. The Dolphins have a very different type of contract structure than I'm used to. So this is very confusing. I'm not even going to lie. This is very confusing because if they're going to trade him, you have to know, say the Rams acquire him, right? Which, by the way, I still believe in that building. From what I've heard, they still love Ramsey. Ramsey loves the Rams. This did not go south. Okay, this relationship is still there. And, if you want to act like it's not, well, look at, Darius Williams came back. So who's to say Ramsey couldn't? I think it really comes down to whether or not they're going to go this route. I feel like even after Akello was signed, there was definitely interest in other cornerbacks that were signed elsewhere. So this is a position the Rams are not just totally fine with. Now, that could be, you could look at that in one of two ways. You could say, oh, well, they'll probably go via the draft. But they might also just try and trade for Jalen Ramsey, maybe in the middle of the draft, maybe after the draft. It's not the first time they traded for a reunion. They actually traded a 5th-round pick to the Browns to acquire the rights to take Troy Hill back. That wasn't that long ago. So they've done this before. They brought Darius Williams back. They brought back Akello Witherspoon. So they've been in the mix of reunions, right? And there's obviously other reunions we could talk about, but those are just the few that I'll mention. So here's the deal. Ramsey is being shopped, and right now, it's really interesting because he's got this window. August 30th, he's going to have $18.98 million in bonuses paid out. And it really makes everything kind of wonky because when you look at his contract here, you'll see he had this extension signed last year. He has $24.2 million in guaranteed money. The rest is zero guarantees. And then you have these void years, which, by the way, for those of you, before you ask, these void years all hit the Dolphins cap. This does not get picked up by whoever trades for him. So that's something to keep in mind. So looking at this right here, you have a cap number of $16.6 million. You got guaranteed salary of $24.2 million. There's a lot of stuff going on in this contract. It's very complicated. So I don't want to get too much into it because, quite honestly, I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction to feel this way or this way when maybe I have it wrong. But also, I don't want to confuse you. I want to make this very digestible. Looking at this, I just tried the cap calculator. I put Jalen Ramsey on the Rams, and it came out to be a $6.1 million cap hit. Now, this is just over the cap. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I figured I'd give it a try, and that's what I came out with. 2026, they incur a $12.8 million cap hit. In 2027, it's 12.8, and then in 2028, it'd be $24 million. Now, these 3 years, 26, 27, 28, are zero guarantees. Zero. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, what's really confusing, and I don't want to confuse you, but Spotrac came out and said that basically whoever acquired Jalen Ramsey would be on the hook for $21 million. Now, I kind of understand what they're saying. They're saying basically that Jalen Ramsey got this roster bonus, and the roster bonus, already paid out would make this salary around $21 million. So I kind of get that, but from a cap standpoint, I don't know how much I get that. So that's what I'll say about that. But let's just look at it in terms of the reunion, just bringing him back. See, what's listed here by Jason Fitzgerald, what he explains here, is that for a team acquiring Ramsey to be on the hook for virtually guaranteed $21 million in 2025, which would be the 7th highest salary in the NFL for a corner, the team would have an option to take on all of the cap charge this year, which, by the way, the Rams probably wouldn't be able to do, or to maintain the option that exists in the contract with the Dolphins and take on a $5.8 million cap charge for this season. So that is interesting. I think this is a doable, deal here. There's some things here: $5 million injury guarantee, $21 million salary in 2026, be fully guaranteed on the third day, and all that, right? But I think really what it comes down to is this: if you acquired him, this would be a last hurrah, run it back. Maybe they could work on a rework of a deal, but I could see this. And the reason being is because whether you realize it or not, Jalen Ramsey, no doubt about it, views himself as a Ram. The Rams view Jalen Ramsey as a Ram. He'll be remembered as a Ram, not as a Jaguar, not as a Dolphin, as a Ram, where he won a Super Bowl. So I really do think it is possible here that the Rams could get involved in this. They already signed a 30-year-old cornerback in Ahkello Witherspoon. They have a 31-year-old quarterback in Darius Williams, and they were interested in some veterans, to say the least, that are 30 plus, in free agency. So I think based on all these different, things, right? And obviously you have to figure things out with the Dolphins. Are you going to eat more? Are you going to eat more of the cap? If you eat more of the contract, then maybe you have to give up a lesser pick. If you don't eat the contract and they eat the whole thing, then maybe you have to give up a bigger pick. I would expect a day 3 selection if the Rams were going to trade for him. I think a day 3 selection, not in the 4th round, would be enough. And then maybe a 2026, deal as well, giving up a 4th or 5th round pick in 2026. But yeah, I really think this could happen. I'm not saying it will, but keep an eye on it, because I'll tell you right now, when it comes to the Rams, comes to Jalen Ramsey, these two still really like each other. And it was no hard feelings at all when the Rams traded him away. They made sure, and this also, remember, they might not have gotten the big draft haul that we were hoping for when they traded him, although a lot of us didn't want him traded, including myself. But what I will say is this: they sent him where he wanted to go. Sometimes short-term pain for a long-term gain, you look at how that affects other corners, other players, and they see, oh, okay, they did right by him. Well, he happens to be in this position. He could do the same thing. He could force the Dolphins to send him to the Rams, back to the Rams. Question is that going to happen? We'll find out. But make no mistake about it, Jalen Ramsey is still a top starter in this league. I don't know on the level. I don't know if you could say he is elite anymore. I'd say he's very, very good. He did play all 17 games last year, so he does have that. He is 30, so it's not like he's 35 or anything like that. I think playing him alongside Ahkello Witherspoon would be a nasty tandem. I think those two would play off each other very well, and I'd like to see it. But we'll see. This is a team, like I said, that's been interested in adding to this position despite having Darius Williams and Kobe Durant. And I wouldn't rule this thing out. I think the question remains. It's not whether Jalen Ramsey will be a Dolphin or not, since it very clearly seems like they're going to trade him. But more so, is he going to have any push in this? Is he going to push himself anywhere? If he steers himself anywhere, my bet would be on the Rams. But we'll see. This is a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl, but they're also looking at the future, and we'll see if that coincides with that. I could also see them drafting Trey Amos. I could see them drafting Hairston. I could see them drafting a later pick as well at corner. We'll see. But it's just something to keep an eye on, something to monitor, because he has a lot of familiarity with that staff. Aubrey Pleasant, right? You got Chris Shula. You got Sean McVay. Darius Williams is there. That's one of his guys. Kobe Durant, right? Played with Stafford. And then, who knows what would happen if they brought him in. Maybe a certain somebody would consider running it back and coming out of retirement. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just somebody talking. But that's all I got for you guys. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is something to keep an eye on. I don't think it's necessarily just a dream thing. I think this is, if he goes anywhere, I think the Rams are probably the best fit. But he still has plenty left in the tank. He can still be a very good cornerback. And this wouldn't just be a novelty item. This wouldn't just be a nice story. This is a guy that would take the Rams to the next level in the secondary, putting him next to Ahkello Witherspoon and having Quentin Lake and Cam Kinchins and Cam Curl. I think that secondary would be disgusting. So we'll see what ends up happening. But that's going to do it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know in the comment section below while you're down there whether you want Jalen Ramsey back or not, what you would offer. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? All I'm saying is just keep an eye on it because it has happened before. Troy Hill. So understand this is potential. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is a potential thing that could happen. And there are other things out there. Just hear me out when I say the Rams still like this player and Jalen Ramsey still likes the Rams. That's all I'm going to say. You guys take care. I'll see you soon. Later, folks. All right, guys. So once again, just want to let you guys know that you can check out my new side project, The Lounge. I interview athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, all the nine. So definitely check it out over on the Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do have a Discord channel for my community on this channel. And if you want to be a part of it, it is free. The link is in the description below. You can sign up. This is basically a 24/7 Rams channel, and we are almost at 1,100 members. So if you want to be a part of it, just hit the link in the description below.